It's the Mike Calta Show. It's 102.5 The Bone. Spanish, please go get the champ and his people or whoever's here and bring him in the studio. We're live on Bone TV, of course, and also live on the YouTube, Calta.tv. All right. Give you a little extra inside information. Pictures of Spanish with no sleeves on. I wonder if that's really hurting us with guests.
The no sleeves? Yeah, because it's confusing.
They don't know what's going on.
Right.
You got this guy in a tie with no sleeves going out there.
Right. When it was a suit, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's classed up a little. Everybody understands a suit. People don't understand shirt and no sleeves.
Look at this champ. You look skinny in a good way. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm definitely skinny.
You are skinny, huh? It is. It's good to see you.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Pull that mic up a little bit so you can talk right in the front. There you go. Keith Thurman, the champ is here, the undefeated champ, 29-0. I'll make a prediction. You're gonna punch Pacquiao's face in.
Like there's something like that. Yeah.
There's no now. But here, this is the equivalent, I would imagine, of me being a baseball fan and then getting to play with Babe Ruth. Or maybe not Babe Ruth, but like one of the greats. You know what I mean? What's the intimidation factor? You're a young kid. I know you're a great champ, but you're a young kid. Now, Pacquiao was a superhero when you were a kid. Now you got to beat him up.
Yeah, all the pressers that I had to do with Pacquiao, all the face-to-face and everything. Anytime I see him, he just looks at me like, now you're like my 70th fight.
Oh, yeah, he's blowing it off. Yeah.
I'm going to train hard and do my best. And, I respect Pacquiao. He's done so much. Win, lose, draw. He's going down in the history books as a legend.
Right.
We all know this. But for me, this is 23 years of hard work, dedication, and I've been true to the game. I'm a local, you know what I mean? Born and raised out here in Clearwater, Florida. Never left my hometown. There was a time throughout my career where one of my old managers wanted me to move to California and work with Freddie Roach.
Oh.
And this was shortly after Ben Getty died.
Right.
And I told him, we have all that it takes right here at St. Pete Boxing Club to make sure that Keith Thurman is champion of the world one day. And I don't need Freddie Roach. And here I am fighting one of Freddie Roach's golden boys, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao.
But you got Dan Birmingham.
That's right.
And, that guy, I loved – so back in the day, we'd be in the gym when you were just a kid. And I always tell this story. I'm like, when people talk about you, I go, you don't understand. One day I'm in the gym, nobody's there, middle of the day, and I'm hitting the leather bag, the big heavy one, and I'm a big guy. So I finally get to the point where I feel like I know what I'm doing, and not to box anybody, just to train to feel like a man. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And Dan is in the ring, and he is doing something, but he can't help not seeing me do something wrong out of the corner of his eye. So he hops out of the ring and he comes over and he goes, turn your shoulder into it, snap your thing. So now I'm punching it and it's making noise. And I thought I might be the next great heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought I was good.
Yeah, for 1 second.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, you know why? Because a couple of seconds later, this skinny little teenager came in and he got on the same bag that I was on. And he punched it, and when he punched it, it bent in half, and I thought the roof was going to come down. When you hit that bag, the sound that it made was unbelievable, and I just was like, oh, I'm done. I don't think I ever went back after that. You were just seeing what you can do to that and your size, and he said, this kid's going to be something. Now, Ben was the first person to find you, right?
He found me at the age of 7, and he was by my side to the age of 20 when he passed away.
Yeah.
Ben and I worked with Dan Birmingham ever since I was 14 years old. So,
What do you have at 7 that Ben could see that you have something? Or was he just trying to, hey, you should be a boxer, kid? And then as you got older, he was like, wow, this kid might actually be good.
Well, Ben Getty was the head custodian of my elementary school.
Right.
And he had permission from the principal to have an after-school boxing program. My mother worked a 9 to 5, so I was a participant in the after-school YMCA program at Bel Air Elementary.
Okay.
And it's obviously a program that will probably never, ever be thought of being created ever again. Right. For legal purposes and different things of that nature. But I got to sign up for this boxing program. He put on an exhibition, and as soon as I saw the exhibition, I was hooked. I knew I wanted to box. I took the paperwork home. I remember taking only 4 steps into the apartment at the time, swinging my backpack off, unzipping it, turning around, giving my mom the paperwork and saying, I want to box.
Yeah.
She told Ben, my son's an athlete, when she had to meet him and have me sign up. He goes, all mothers say that about their kids. 2 weeks later, when she went to pick me up, he looked at her and goes, your boy's an athlete.
Yeah.
You know, and he saw something special in me at an early age. He told me as soon as I was 14 years old, when I started making this heavy bag fold in half, he used to tell me all the time, he said, you are a $1 million fighter, boy. You have everything it takes to be a champion of the world one day. And at 14 years old, you know, it was really hard to grasp the understanding, because Ben Getty wasn't a BSer. He was a Vietnam veteran, and it was hard to grasp. But I said, you know what? Because he's not a BSer, he believes in me this much, I guess I'll show up to the gym every day. I'm going to start believing in me, and here we are today.
Good for you. Anybody you ever get any fights in high school?
Nah, you know, I already had the nickname De La Hoya by then. People kind of knew. Yeah, I started winning national tournaments. You know, I had so many fights. I had my first amateur fight at 9 years old. After boxing in the elementary school, we were in the local rec center, the Ross Norton Park and Rec, and that's where Ben Getty started our boxing program. When they tore down the old rec center to build the new rec center with the skate park in the back today, we had to shift gears and start gym hopping, and that's when eventually we fell into St. Pete Boxing Club with Dan Birmingham. And by the time I was 16 years old, I was sparring Winky Wright, Jeff Left Hook Lacey, Antoine Eccles, and any professional that walked in that gym.
Now, that's got to be a great feeling, because you're among champions in there. I mean, you walk in there and you look at the walls and you see all the great fighters that have been there and all the guys that Dan worked with. Now you know you're on the track for greatness. Now, how far into it were you like I see so many boxers up and coming and then they disappear. You don't hear anything about them. They had good careers, but then they just fall off. And it's a guy like you and a match like this that brings fans back to boxing. I mean, this is a purist boxing match. Pacquiao could be 40 years old, but he's still one of the greatest fighters of all time. And then you have this young, undefeated kid who is going to be the next great fighter. There's a lot riding on this for boxing itself.
Throughout me creating a name for myself, one of my favorite things is hearing, you know, I saw your fight and I watched boxing again. Yeah. You know, you are the fighter that brought me back into the sport of boxing. Those are some of my favorite words, besides the fact that you are my favorite fighter of today's generation. Oh, I
have to tell you, I don't know how many other fighters I can name that are fighting right now. I mean, we've been watching you. We watched your the last fight that was on. The last one was on Fox.
On Fox,
yeah.
Yep.
That I thought was great, because even my dad watched that fight and he didn't know you were from here. He didn't know what the deal was. But people got to see that, and they got to see the talent. They were like, man, boxing's back. And now when you start mixing big time names into it, now what do you think, this is going to hurt him when you knock him out? Like, you think people are going to be like, well, why did he keep fighting? Why did he fight this undefeated kid? Why did he keep doing this? Like, you think it's smart for him to fight or not? Because I think you know this too. I think you're going to beat him.
Well, you know, you just got to give Manny Pacquiao props.
But he doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the fame. He's the one risking by fighting you, because there's a good chance you're going to knock him out or make him look silly. And at this point, everybody's going to go, why didn't he just retire?
Well, he wants to still accomplish great things in his career. He's not done yet. Wow. He had a great performance earlier this year in January, beating another young man.
Right.
So he's on his "Yes I Can" movement right now. Yeah. You know, he believes that he still has more gas in the tank, and we've seen it throughout the history of boxing. You know, it's hard for champions to walk away.
Yeah.
You know, we have a love for the sport, but some of us are just pure adrenaline junkies. You know, there's just nothing that gets us off more than being in the ring. Everyday life is very mundane. He's got a job already. He's senator of the Philippines.
Yeah.
He went from poverty to world champion to senator. Yeah. I mean, he's accomplished so much, but I guarantee you, if you ask him which one he enjoys more, it's not being senator. It's not sitting at the desk and reading files and debating about what to do with the government. You know, you know, and then just just hearing it, hey, champ, how are you, champ? Good luck, champ. You know, and the crowd that's going to be there, the support, the fan base at the MGM Grand, it's hard. It's been hard for many fighters to walk away from that. You know, on July 20th, I'm going to use my left and my right to point them in the right direction.
Now, I watched you fight on Fox, and I'm waiting for you to just knock somebody's face off. That guy hit you a couple of times where I got nervous for you for a second. You know, you just catch a guy one time. Did you feel at any time during that fight that he might have got you too good?
Well, he didn't get me too good because the fight would have been over. You know, he didn't get me too good. He got me pretty nice. That's why I love my nickname, Keith One Time Thurman. You know, one time represents my punching power, but it's a double-edged sword. It really represents boxing. Every fan at every moment, doesn't matter who you really came to cheer for.
Right.
At every moment, you're really just waiting for one big punch to go, ooh, and ah, and damn. You know, you're just waiting for that one punch. And for me too, one time represents these once in a lifetime opportunity that I have to live out my dream, you know. And against Jose Cito Lopez, man, in the 7th round, he caught me one good time. He had me rocked, and when he had me rocked, he chased me down, and I could see it in his eyes. He knew his moment was right in front of him. And then he hit me with a straight right hand, snapped my head back, hit me again with the same punch, snapped my head back, and I said, man, you MFer, if you don't keep your hands up and start moving, you know you're okay. Nobody watching this knows you're okay right now. Everybody thinks you about to be knocked out. Let's show the world what real champions do, and that's survive, get out the round, and then come back boxing harder, boxing smarter, and always walking away victorious.
You see any birdies? You see any little stars above your head right there?
Nah, no birdies, but the original left hook did what we call the rung of the bell.
Yeah.
You know, get you buzzing a little bit, you know, make you feel like you just had a 6-pack or something. But, you know, we recovered quickly.
See, that's my thing. I'm always afraid, like, I'm getting there like the toughest guy in the world. I'll get one shot to the nose. I'm like, I don't want to do this
start
anymore.
watering. Yeah.
Once you get that shot to the nose, that's the pain.
But that one I'm used to. Yeah, real used to that one.
What is so when the round is over, you go to your corner, and what's Dan like in between the rounds?
Lift your freaking hands up.
Yeah.
Can you block? Stop boxing with your hands down. You know, let's get in there, box with your hands up, get back on the jab, stick and move, because we knew. After coming back, that was a big comeback fight. 22 months of inactivity, you know, surgeries and hand injuries. So I told the whole world, you're not going to see the best Keith Thurman you ever seen in January, but you will see a world-class performance. And I do believe that I delivered on that. And I did have some ring rust, and I'm just glad that I got a real tough fight, because it also reminded me that, yes, you're champion today, but everybody is coming for you.
Yeah, and you can't just rest. I mean, you're not only you're a target, but you don't want anybody to pass you up either. You know what I mean? You don't want anybody else to work any harder than you do. How long out do you start preparing for this fight, this Pacquiao fight? I mean, I know you train all the time, but how long out do you really start digging in?
The real grind is 10 weeks out.
Yeah.
It's a 10-week training camp in preparation for this 12-round fight. You know, 36 minutes performance. But I just want to have a greater performance than I did earlier this year. I want to prove to Pacquiao that, you know, he doesn't belong at the top of the welterweight division anymore, and that, you know, he signed the wrong contract.
Yeah, you're a super champ now, right?
Dun 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 dun.
What do you have the 2 belts?
Well, the super title is through the WBA.
Right.
I unified when I defeated Danny Garcia, but due to my inactivity, I didn't want to hold up the welterweight division. And throughout history, we know that fighters that are inactive sometimes do get stripped of their world titles.
Right.
So I just went ahead and said, you know what, before they go and politically pull this little number on me, I know I'm going to be inactive in 2018. Let me just go ahead and give up one of my 2 world titles. And as long as I come back into the sport and I'm still champion of the world, you know, we're going to pick it right back up. And by vacating the world title, whenever I feel it deemed fit, I can challenge whoever that champion is. I'm out of, and they have to accept it. If they were to not accept it, they would be stripped of the world title, because one of the only reasons why they got that world title was because of me vacating it, not because they beat Keith one time.
So they owe that to you.
They do owe it to me.
Okay, so let's move to the future. You fight on the 20th. You beat Pacquiao handily. Okay, so you predict a knockout. So you knock him out. You knock him out earlier than you think, and everybody in the whole world sits back, and goes, "Wow." Now what? Now what? Because I know you used to want to fight Floyd Mayweather, but now do you think you'd ever lure him back into fighting?
I mean,
you
I don't. Unless it's in Japan or something. I mean, this dude's doing exhibition matches overseas.
Yeah.
You know, he's doing.
Because he's running from you. That's what you're saying.
I mean, he ran from me back 6 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, when I became the #1 contender in the WBA, he beat Marcos Maidana for that world title, and then 6 months later they made him the super champ and made me the regular champion.
Right.
And that was the day I realized, looks like I'll never share the ring with Floyd Mayweather, because the beauty of the title that I hold and the title that he used to hold is the super champion doesn't have mandatories. You kind of have a kingship. You get to dictate your career without other people mandating things upon you.
Okay. All right. So would you fight him if that opportunity
I would
comes
love
up?
to share the ring with Floyd Mayweather. Yeah. But, you know, after knocking out Manny Pacquiao, I don't know how much he's going to want to step in the ring.
If you were him, you wouldn't want to risk that.
If I was him, I would have retired from the first 100 million. Shoot. If I was him, shoot.
How rich are you now?
Well, let's just say it's getting pretty nice, and, you know, as the saying says, the rich get richer.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, that's what it's all about right now. I'm living my dream, but I'm still an active fighter. I need to set up my retirement.
Yeah.
We've seen athletes make money, but as one of my mentors say, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. You know, so from here on out, I had a lot of fun in my 20s, but from here on out, we're making the proper decisions so that Keith one-time Thurman, after boxing, will still have a good life for himself.
Good. That's smart, man. That's smart. Most people don't make those decisions. Look at Rocky. He had to go back and live in Philadelphia, live with his dog. And Keith Thurman is in the studio with us. He is going to be fighting in Las Vegas, MGM, taking on Manny Pacquiao on the 20th. And we're all very excited. Fans of yours, but you're representing the Tampa Bay area. And I think this is going to be great for us. I think you are going to come home with a huge victory. And like you said, with a lot more boxing fans, in the world after a match like that.
Oh, man, it's a dream come true. I really can't wait. I'm really surprised that it's here now. I'm happy that I'm skinny.
Yeah.
I got all the fat off the body. You know, 10 weeks, a lot of dieting, no cheat days. Everybody out there who tries to go on a diet and wants to fill in those cheat days, you know, you're not going to get the job done.
Can you explain this to me? Walk me out to the ring. Like, what's the pomp and circumstances going to happen before the fight? Is there a national anthem? Is there a whole, like, did that stuff ever enter your head, or are you just so concentrated on the fight? Like, it seems like there's always so many distractions before a boxing match.
For me, I just look at it as a very old sport. I look at it as a gladiator sport.
Yeah.
Right before you walk into the ring, you know, before it was a coliseum, you walk into the arena. Backstage, you're almost in a jail cell. You know, you're in this little box. You're in this cubicle. And for me, I say I'm locked up. I'm locked up, a caged animal. And while I'm locked up, I'm just focused that, you know, the battle's about to begin. You know, my mother will be watching, my father will be watching, my wife will be watching. You know, none of that is on my mind. That's not my focus. My focus is all the hard work and dedication that I put into being where I am today, the preparation for the bout that I'm about to enter. How many times did I run 6-7 miles? How many sit-ups did I do? How many push-ups did I do? Remember when you hit the heavy bag?
Yeah.
What did that sound like? Oh, wait, that's about to be his face. You know what I'm saying? And I just go through this routine to build up my confidence, and then just say, you know, deep down, you know, this is what you've always wanted. this is what you've been waiting for. The time is now. The moment is here. Let's go out there and get her done.
You just gave me an interesting thought. Your dad watching this fight, how old's your dad? I imagine we got to be close in age.
In his 50s.
Okay. So I have a 12-year-old son. If I'm a dad, I want to see my son go in there and whip Manny Pacquiao's ass, but also from a dad's point of view, I don't want Manny Pacquiao to hurt my son. You know what I'm saying? He must have that. He must have super confidence in you, but he must also be a little bit worried about you going in there and watching another guy punch at you for 12 rounds.
Well, he always said, regardless of you or my son or not, you're a tremendous fighter.
Yeah.
You know, he said he's watched boxing back in the day, Tyson with his father, and he goes, you know, you really are a great boxer. And so he does have tremendous faith in me. He does know where I come from, training with Ben Getty, training with Dan Birmingham. He's always trusted my team. He knows that I surround myself with good people. So, you know, he'll probably have a cocktail or two to calm the nerves, you know, at the end of the day. But I tell my whole family, man, no matter what happens in that ring, you know, don't shed a tear. Don't worry about your boy, because I'm doing what I love.
Yeah, I love your confidence level, because it's not cocky. You were just really confident in your ability, and I think that's the right frame of mind that you need to be in to go in there. I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be a great fight on the 20th, live from the MGM. Now, I'm just putting this out there. I did look it up. If you can get me tickets, I realize I could fly in on Saturday, go to the fight, and then fly back on Sunday and be here for work. I'm available if you need me. Also, you know how Paulie used to walk to the ring with Rocky? There always used to be one fat guy in your corner. Don't you think? Who walks out in the ring? Who's in your corner?
We got Dan Birmingham, Chris Getty, Eric Wilson, my cut man Carlos, and that's the four that hold down the corner.
Yeah, and then you need one fat guy, and everybody goes, well, what does that guy do? That's me. I'm the Paulie of you. Just let you know I'm available.
Walk a few steps behind. I thought it was interesting. You said your nickname in like high school and stuff was De La Hoya. I had heard you said that you're going to do to Manny Pacquiao what he did to De La Hoya. Yeah, yeah.
You know, I just making the statement that I believe that by, you know, defeating Manny Pacquiao and really putting hands on him, reminding him of the dangers of this sport and trying to compete with the young competitors today, that, you know, he has an exit strategy. The door's over there. Yeah. Exit, brother. Just go take the exit, you know. And also I've been saying to people that, you know, fighters fight if fighters want to keep fighting, you know. So I can't force him into retirement. I can just try to point him into the right direction. And, you know, he's not going to be the first fighter that I ever sent into retirement. I've sent 2 already throughout my career, and I just believe that, you know, it's time. I know he's going to try to prove me wrong come next Saturday, but Oscar never fought again after Manny Pacquiao, and I wouldn't be surprised if Manny Pacquiao never fights again after Keith Thurman.
I like it.
When do you leave to go out there?
Monday.
Okay. Well, man, we wish you the best, and I know you got a big whirlwind of press that you have to do today, and I think it's great that you're a great kid to represent this area, and we're all going to be glued to the fight. I won't even steal this one. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to go and pay for it on pay-per-view.
Also, I saw Keith on Instagram with his new shirts, which are nice. KeithThurman.com. Those are nice shirts. I like those.
They're nice shirts, and they're really comfortable. You know, when they sent me the fabric designs, I just put on the one that felt the best. You know, I want to be able to train in them. I want to be able to wear them to the fights, wear them to other people's fights, and just wear them casually. And it's just a great T-shirt, man. I love them. I'm happy with them.
Now, the other thing, I love that you travel with a bevy of ladies. Who are I know one of these ladies is your publicist. Who are the other ladies over here? Just supermodels modeling your shirts?
No, one is actually my personal trainer and my aunt, Kimberly. She's been working with me for this whole fight for 8 weeks. So in the 10-week camp, first 2 weeks, she's not allowed here. She's not allowed to beat me up. I'm like, hey, let me just get moving. Let me get going. Right. And then she comes in, and then we go hard for 8 weeks.
Your trainer? You're the trainer? Oh, I'd be scared of you. I'd be scared. You look mean. I gotta look at you and I go, I can't do anymore. And you'd yell at me, you can do more. Yeah, no, thank you. Good. I'm glad you got skinny in shape over here. If you have any problems, she's the one to blame. That's it. I'm gonna come back at her. What's the coolest thing you bought with all your with fortune so far?
For me, it probably has to still be my Shelby GT350 R. You know, I was really happy when I was able to get my hands on it.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Walker Ford. Hey, they had many different models of the Shelby GT350, but the R that year was supposed to be a limited edition.
Right.
And I was in their showroom, and they were like, "We got one of the Shelbys in today." And I looked at it and I was like, I'm not that impressed because it didn't have no racing stripes on it. It had a two-tone top. I was like, I'm not really.
Racing stripes.
I'm like, it just doesn't look like a real Shelby.
Right.
And I hear the guys talking. Everybody was so excited. It was the first day it was in their showroom. I lived right around the corner off of Bel Air Road at that time. And I said, I'm listening to everybody speak. And this guy goes, well, we will be getting an R in the near future. And I said, no, you're not. I said, Clearwater, Florida, Walker Ford's not getting a limited edition R. And he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. I said, who are you? Where's your desk? And who do I need to talk to? And we sat down. I explained to him who I am, how I live right around the corner. He explained to me, Mr. Walker hasn't even put a price on it yet. I said, when he puts a price on it, you call me first. And luckily, I made that happen. I tracked it over at Sebring Raceway. I mean, it's just, I think, one of the greatest cars to ever be invented by an American car maker.
Don't you love when you have a car that you love? I have an old-ass car. I have a 2007 Hummer. I love that car. I'm never giving it up. I don't care what anybody says. You love your car.
Oh, man, I think it's, Keith Thurman of the road. I mean, it's strong, it's fast, it's agile, and then, that V8 Voodoo engine, man, it roars.
Yeah, we need to get you over to Pete at Zen Motorsports, and we need to get you a one-time edition.
Yeah.
Shelby one-time version.
Yeah.
All right, listen, I know you got a lot of places to go today, so I'm going to let you go, but thank you so much for coming in here. We wish you the absolute best, but we have just as much confidence in you as you have in yourself. Knock him out, man. Knock him out. What's the plan? What round are we looking at? 4th round knockout?
Any round knockout, but just to have fun in Vegas, we got to throw a little money on round 1 and 2. If we can go home early and get a little bonus, because there is no knockout bonus, so I gotta play with the bookies.
Okay.
And I gotta create my own KO bonus.
All right, I'm taking a under 6-round knockout. That's where my bet's going to be.
It's a nice bet.
All right, I like that. And listen, no sex before the fight. Keep them legs strong.
Hey, man, don't worry. Wifey already got it all handled. She's like, you're going to win, and I'll see you after the fight.
All right. Listen, good luck to you, my man. We'll take a break. Keith Thurman, that fight is happening on the 20th of this month at the MGM Grand. Support your local champion. We'll take a quick break. It's the Mike Calta Show.
You're listening to the Mike Calta Show on 102.5 The Bone.